Hello, this is Sarah, the Stitchin' Mommy, and Smokey. And I'm here for a 2024 plans video. So this will be not my regular update video. I won't do one this week. I'll hopefully get to one next week that'll encompass 2 weeks of progress. You'll get a sneak peek on a couple of things that I have worked on since my last update video that are in this video. But what I'm doing today is talking about what my rotation will be next year, the pieces I'm going to focus on, and the pieces I'm going to start. So lots of fun goodies for you to see. Hopefully she won't be in the way for too much longer. So I got my planner yesterday. The past couple years I've had a Lori Holt planner given to me from the Fat Quarter Shop, but they didn't seem to make one this year. So I was holding out hope, but eventually had to get my own. But I really like this one. It's still fairly small, but the pages are slightly wider than the other one. It has tabs, which is cool. So yesterday I played, and I started out, I'm using the contacts pages at the beginning for notes. So my first page has my rotation, my focus pieces, and the next contact pages have my whip go boards, which I'll show in a minute, more details, and then this important dates page. I have currently penciled in my new starts. I'll write dates next to them if I actually do start them. If I decide not to start them, I'll erase them or cross them out. I will also have finishes in here too in the month that I finished them with a date. So that'll be kind of fun to have that all in one place. And so far January is blank for my plans. I'm going to plan on these month at a glance pages because I'm going to do Bingo with the Magazine Monthly Challenge group on Facebook. They have a monthly bingo game in January and in September, and I'm planning to do both of those with the pieces that I'm already slotted in to work on in January. So I have here in the notes Bingo, and then my Whip Go pieces that were called for this month, and my new starts that I'll have this month. But I won't plug anything in because I don't know yet what days I'm working on what things. I have on my Bingo paper, which I might get to touch on a little bit at the end, like a list of all the things that I am going to work on and how many days. I don't think I actually made a Bingo board yet to be able to get bingos, so I'll have to make sure to get that put together before the first. And then these days will be where I write down what I actually do, like what project, how many stitches, or specific what I worked on that project, or travel stitching, that kind of thing will go on those pages. So I'm excited about that. So generally speaking, my rotation this year will be similar to what I've done in 2023, slightly altered. So if you follow my regular videos, this past year, for the most part, I was doing Monday or Tuesday. Sometimes it flip-flopped. On Mondays, I would do a family piece, rotate through family pieces. On Tuesday, I would work on my letter fairy that I was currently working on for my niece. And then the first 2 chunks of weeks, I was working on a focus piece to try to get it done. And then I had if I finished my focus piece before those 2 weeks were over, then I could work on a fancy lady bonus piece. And then I had a full coverage piece and a full coverage no background for the second 2 weeks of the year. And then seasonal Sunday stitching. So it'll be similar to that, but adjusted a little bit because I have not quite 100, but I have close to 100 whips. I think 92 at my last count. It might be different now. I'm not entirely sure, but a lot. Let's just say that. I have a lot of projects. I can't work on all of them and get significant progress on all of them. There's just no physical way to do that. So I have to kind of balance what my heart wants to do and what my mind says I should do. So I think this rotation will kind of scratch both itches a little bit, and I'm hoping that it will be successful, and I'll maybe want to keep going with it in future years. So what I'm planning to do, Mondays and Tuesdays, I'll rotate through family full coverage pieces. I have You've already seen my husband's piece, which is technically full coverage, no background, but it's going to count as this, and because it's in Pattern Keeper. And then my two sons' pieces. I'm also going to start in January to fill out this category, a full coverage piece for my daughter, because I kind of decided, based on how much I have left, I could finish my son's pieces by their high school graduations. I've already made my daughter a small full coverage piece, but I feel like around the time I was thinking about this, a really cute full coverage piece came out. And I thought, you know what, I could make that for her by the time she graduates. She's my youngest. And then they could each get something for their high school graduation that is a full coverage. So I'll start hers, which is technically not my New Year New Start, even though I'm starting it in January. So I'll technically have 13 new starts on my list, but that's my family piece to go in my family slot. So I'll rotate through those 4 every month, 2 days a month, to hopefully get some significant progress on them to get them finished by high school graduations, and then my husband's piece just whenever it's done. Let me show those now. So those are all full coverages, so they're all in here. The one, let's see, you've seen, I'll go in order of how I will probably work on them. The order I work on them might change a little bit based on the day of the month that their birthday falls. It's almost completely in order of husband, oldest, middle, youngest, but then my middle and youngest are flipped. So I might do it in age order, not birth date order, just because, like I used to do, because my daughter's birthday number is before her older brother's birthday number, if that makes any sense. So in the past, when she wasn't part of this rotation, it was easy to do it in birthday order. But because she's in the mix now, I'll probably do it in age order instead. So I'll start with my husband's piece. This is Simpsons. I got this on eBay years ago. It's no longer there. I actually recharted it myself in my pattern software, one stitch at a time, in order to get it into Pattern Keeper, because the paper copy I received was a horrible quality. It was, the symbols were very hard to read, and they were like, the ink was rubbing off. So then eventually I wouldn't even be able to see it or it would get ink on my fabric. I'm like, okay, this needs to stop. So this is where my starting point is at the end of 2023. Hopefully we'll see some significant progress on this in the coming year. This is on 40 count Verdal, 1/1, or Verdal. I'm not sure how I want to say that. 1/1 half stitches. And actually 3 of these 4 will be on 40 count white Verdal. So the only one that is not is my next one here, which is my oldest son's piece, Visit Endor. This is by Country Magic Stitch. She has a bunch of fandom full coverages. It's very simple block stitching. There's only 11 colors in here. And I finally finished the sky on my last rotation, so I'll be working on this bottom chunk this year. I don't need to finish it by graduation this year, but next year. So I have a year and a half to finish this. I think I can do it. This one goes rather quick when I do get it out because it is block stitching. I can get a lot done at once. This is my starting point for 2024 on this one. This is a 28 count Dove Gray Monaco 2/1 half cross. So they're all half crosses, which does help things go a little bit faster. And then I have my middle son's piece, which is a favorite, Mini Bear Time Stories by Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Randall Spangler. Super cute. Again, 40 count Verdal 1/1 half cross. And this is the size of the whole design. I'm doing extreme cross country, kind of alternating back and forth between largest colors with the largest amount of stitches and colors with the least amount of stitches, so that I can knock off confetti but also get numbers each month too. So I might go back and forth each week or each month. I'll spend some time on little colors with little amount of stitches and then whip out a big chunk with some of the higher numbered stitches too, higher colors with the higher number of stitches as well to try to get confetti and numbers at the same time in the same rotation. And then my last one will be for my daughter. Not yet started, but I'll start it at some point here in the month of January. I don't know if I said, today is Thursday, December 28th. So 2023. So we are looking forward to a new year in a little bit. So this is Lollipop by Tilton Crafts. She loves dragons and she loves little babies and toddlers. So this is like, and she herself is a little girl with blondish hair and loves purple and teals. Like this checked a lot of boxes. So, and I've asked her multiple times if she still likes this and she's like, yes, 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 I love that. So hopefully she'll still appreciate it when she's a high school senior, but I think so. And this one will be on, you guessed it, 40 count white Verdal 1/1 half cross. This is a piece of fabric that was it's like, it's a 13 by 17. Is that a fat eighth maybe? It was given to me by Meg, who will come up later because I'm going to have a new start with her later. She had sent me a few of her fabrics that she wasn't going to use anymore and says, you can't run out of this. And it was the perfect size for this piece. Just a slightly too big. So it'll have like a comfortable margins, more than I require, but not so much that I need to cut anything off. So it's like just perfect. So I'll get that started whenever it shows up on Bringo. I'll have it on my Bringo board 2 times in January. So it'll come up at some point and I'll start it. So those are my 4 family pieces. We'll each get 2 days every month. And then my next category will be a Wednesday, Thursday rotation for focus pieces. This is more flexible. I'm going to stick with a piece in this Wednesday, Thursday slot until it's done or until I get tired of it and need a break and pull it in another focus piece, and then I can come back to it. So these are all things that I'm hoping I can just work on them till they're done, whether that takes 1 month, 2 weeks, 3 months, until they're done. And hopefully I'll knock off a good chunk of these. I have 12 on my list, just because it was a nice round number. Doesn't necessarily mean I'll get to all 12 of these to finish them, but this is my working list. So first off, I didn't have these in order, but my letter fairy, because I do need this done by graduation, May, June time. So this is my letter S fairy by Nora Corbett. So this will be my first focus piece. I have this down on my WIPGO board 4 times and another 4 times after WIPGO's over, because WIPGO goes through the 25th. So this one will get 8 days in January to see hopefully a finish. If I finish it before the 8 days is over at the end of the month, then I'll put in something else. But like more work on my family pieces or something, or my new starts or something of that nature. But if I don't finish her, she will continue to be in this focus Wednesday, Thursday slot into February until she's done. So here is my starting point on her for 2024. I did work on her some since you saw it last in my update video, so there will be a little bit more here in the wings that you didn't see before, but this is my starting point, and hopefully can get her done without too much time. She's a very simple fairy, so there's a little bit more wing here, and then there's outlined Krynic. There's 3 large treasures in her wings. There's like a antenna of sorts under here. And then the rest is just this bottom curl of the S, like you'll see with this one, with some beads and junk right here. But it's rather simple. So I don't think it'll take too long, especially if I give it 2 days every week. So we'll see. Maybe we'll see a finish on this in January. So I'm guessing January or February, this will be done. My next focus piece will be none other than Dragon Ride by Teresa Wentzler, because I do also want to get this done by graduation time, because my son is graduating from 8th grade, junior high. Not a significant milestone necessarily, but he's, you know, changing out of that school, and it's a nice goal to shoot for, and I'm very close to finishing this, so I think I can do it. So this is next up because it actually has another deadline. And I have worked on this a little bit as well since you saw it last, so you'll get a sneak peek from my update video. I'll show it again in my update video, but this is my starting point on Dragon Ride by Teresa Wensler. This is 28 count light blue even weave by MCG Textiles. And I have now finished all of the 2/2 cross stitching in the dragon. I am working more on the 1/1 in the man. I have a little bit more of that left to do. And I did also some border this last time because that was on my needle and I finished up my string. So have the border to do. There is some half stitching on the ground and then a lot of back stitching. The whole dragon, only his head has been back stitched. The rest of him has not yet been back stitched. So there's a lot of that left. So this will be significant once I get to this and Letter Fairy is done and this goes into the Wednesday, Thursday slot. This will take a while. It's possible to take a couple months. Hopefully not too much more than that, but I think I can do it and I'm excited about it. Whenever I pull it out, I really enjoy working on it. So I'm looking forward to that one. Next up, I have my Topsy Turvy Tea by Counting Puddles. This is when I started with Carla and I met her in person, yay, at the Stitch Shenanigans retreat this year. And her and I and Marilyn all started this. And I got pretty far on it I think I had it for travel stitching for a week or something like that. She decided to not finish hers because the fabric is really loose. The threads are kind of stretchy, so the combination was just tricky. And I understand when I was working on it, it is tricky. It's a little bit more, just harder to work with than other things. But I was making progress, and it's not like super neat looking because of that, but I think it's fine. Here is where mine is now. So I decided once she shared that I'm going to give her mine. So that's why I want this one to be up next. So once it's done, I'll give her mine. And I think that will be really fun. This is on 30 count Grape Ice by Weeks Dye Works. 2/2 full cross with the called for Treenway silks. So I have more, I think all the colors are done in the cup. So I have all the white to finish in the cup. And then the tea bag and stuff. So that one shouldn't take an exceptionally long amount of time. Hopefully just a few weeks of that one. To get that one done and gifted. That would be great. And I have another one that, speaking of gifting, that is a secret stitch that I actually kind of forgot about. I was originally thinking, oh, I'll get this done. Maybe I'll send it on to the recipient for Christmas. It's not Christmas themed, but it's, it's a nice time to give things. Totally forgot about it because life can be manic in the lead up to Christmas and Thanksgiving and all of that. So when I saw it on my list of things that I started this year, I was like, what is that? Because it's the same name as another piece that I finished a year or so ago. It's like, I finished that. What is this piece? Oh yeah, that's my secret stitch. I forgot about that. So my secret stitch will also be in my focus piece, possibly after I finish Topsy Turvy Tea. I'll go ahead and put that in my focus slot and I will share it once it's been gifted. Then I also have Those Who Sing by the Drawn Thread. This is when I started with Colette, the Highway Stitcher. And she finished hers long ago. And I managed to get like the top half done this year. I was hoping to maybe finish it this year, but there's a lot more to stitching than I anticipated. So I got the top half done. I need to do the bottom half. This house is pretty large, so hopefully this won't take me forever, but it will take a good amount of time. Here is where I've gotten to. This is on 32 count Mushroom Slushy by Fabric Flare, 2/2 full cross with a color conversion that's similar to what's called for. I think a couple of the colors are the same, but they're mostly just close. Well, they're what I had in my stash. So that's really pretty. It is fun to work on, but there's a lot more stitching involved than I had originally anticipated. So hopefully I can get that done this year. It's deceiving because I have it in here rolled up in the bag because it's like super narrow, but it's really long. So it's like, it's not that small. Then I have my heirloom nativity sampler, which you've recently seen. I was working on it here in December. I have this line of text, a row of specialty stitches, and the heart hanger left to do. The rest of it is done. So this is by the Victoria Sampler, and I will hopefully get this done this coming year. And I'm hoping to get to it. Hopefully all these other ones will get knocked off first half of the year maybe, and then this one can have some time in the summer or fall when I'm not yet crazy at the school year. I mean the holidays, and so I can work on my heart hanger then. So here is this one. This is 32 count, possibly silver linen by MCG Textiles. It's a gray, it's not sparkly. And it's all finished 100% except for that bottom chunk. So hopefully I can get to that bottom chunk right there this coming year and get this finished. That would be fun. All right, next up, I have a lot of things I'd like to focus on, so they may all not get done, but I have them on here, and we'll see what happens. The next one that would be nice to finish is Colors of the Seasons 2. I have these two finished, and this one started, so I have like 1.5 left to go. And this one gave me some fits as far as placement. I'm still not 100% sure what I'm going to do with them. I may still go ahead and fix the words and the hearts and add those into the top bits to make it all one piece. We'll see. Because this part got messed up from what I originally intended. But there's not quite enough here to like cut them apart. So we'll see. Here's my starting point. This is 27 count Linda in Vintage Country Mocha, 2/2 full cross with all the called for DMCs. They're super pretty. There's winter and autumn, and this is summer of her and the ocean, and then spring will go over here. So they're really cute, and they actually work up pretty fast once I have time on them. So hopefully I can get that done. That would be great. The next one is a full coverage, no background. This was a former freebie by Tilton Crafts, Cupcake Dreams, and it was charted with like an all white background. I decided to not stitch that, and I'm doing it on this pale green Jubilee. And I'm currently stitching this one, Extreme Cross Country, as well. This is 28 count mint green Jubilee 1/1 full cross, and it's made great progress this year. I spent a good amount of time on it. There's still a lot to go, but it would be really nice to get this one done. It's very close. I mean, sort of. I don't know what percentage it is, but we'll see. That'd be really fun to work on and get that done. The other one that I thought could be fun to make sure I get done, if possible, is my Mill Hill kit. This kind of fell by the wayside this year. I had been working on this on Mill Hill Mondays as like a bonus thing in the afternoon, and that just didn't happen. So this is still ongoing. The one I'm working on right now is Honeybee, and I have 2 finished. I have Winged Monarch and Hummingbird both finished, and they can rotate out in this frame I have in my bedroom. So it'd be nice to have at least one for every month. I have more than 12 available. So it'd be nice to get those, keep going on those. And it would be nice to keep one of these, if I like this rotation, to always have one of these in my list of focus on a finishes, so I can get at least one done every year. That'd be nice. So here is my progress on Honeybee, which has been a long time since I worked on this. The bee is all done, except for the back stitching in the wings, because I need to stitch around the wings first. I'm filling in that background. So got some beads in there already as well. Super fun. You can see the shimmer of these petite beads here. That's fun. So yeah, hopefully that'll be really great to finish if I have time. I don't know how quickly these things will get done working on them 2 days a week, but I guess we'll see. Then I have 2 pieces that are kind of bonus pieces that I want to finish next year, and if needed, I can like pop them into this 2-day-a-week rotation to make sure they get finished, but they do have other times to stitch on it. So the first one is my Castle Homecoming Club by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is currently a mystery stitch along for 2023, but the last clue does not come out until February of 24. My goal is to finish this by the end of 2024. So I'm only working on it for an hour about every Friday when I talk with my sister. Sometimes we don't have calls if one or either of us is busy or whatnot. Here is my starting point, or where it is right now. I may work on this tomorrow if we have our call tomorrow. I think we will. So there'll be a little bit more progress here in 2023 before I keep going, but this is when I'm filming my video. So 28 count ice blue Lugana 1/1 full cross with my own color conversion, fancy flosses, which are similar to what's called for. And so yeah, I will continue to work on this on Fridays during my call. But if I'm feeling like it's not progressing like it should, I can like bring it into this focus slot if there's room to kind of move it along a little bit faster. So hopefully I won't need to do that, but it's a possibility, and hopefully I can get that done next year. The other one that's similar to this is my Shine Bright sampler, which is in the Bonnie and Camille Quilt Bee book. And this is the Shine Bright colorway that I'm doing, that the Fat Quarter Shop put together. You look for Shine Bright sampler, just search for that on the Fat Quarter Shop website, and they have a floss pack that shows the new colors compared to the old colors. I'm working on this like a length of thread in the afternoon if I have a chance, and so if I feel like I'm falling behind, it should be done by the end of October, I think. But if I feel like I'm falling behind, I can pop it into that focus piece here and there, focus slot, if I feel like I need to bump it up a little bit. So currently this has a little bit more than you saw it last time as well. This is on 40 count 1/1, just kidding, 40 count 1/2 on Morganite linen by Fiber on a Whim. I'm using the RE Floss conversion that they provided at the Fat Quarter Shop. So this is the far part of the design. So I've made it all the way across. It looks like I have a little bit more margin on this side than I did on this side, but I probably just did like a 2 or 3 inch border and called it good. So this is the very end. Yeah, so I have November and December chunks finished. I'm working on January's now. So that's good. A little bit ahead, which is where I want to be. I want to be able to post my progress at the beginning of the month that it's supposed to be for. That's my goal. And then last but not least, I needed 12 on my list. So I went through everything else and thought, what is somewhat close to a finish that I can use to round out this list? I don't know that I'll even get to it, but I wanted 12 on my list. So I went ahead and threw in Leslie Tears, Blackwork Flower, and Butterflies, because given a good amount, given time, I think this one would go rather quickly because there's not a ton of stitching. There's these bits, there's a few scattered cross stitches, but most of it's black work, which actually goes pretty fast for me. And I do have 2 more, how many butterflies have I done? At least this butterfly is not yet done, so that's a good amount of stitching, and the border. But I was looking for a 12th thing, and I think this is a good candidate. So if I have time at the end of the year, I will definitely pull this out and see what I can do. Yeah, I've only done 1 butterfly, so I need to do 2 more butterflies. This is on 28 count light blue even weave by Artiste at Hobby Lobby. This is Weigart fabric as well. The cross stitches are 2/2, and then the black work is as called for. I think it's mainly like 1 strand in the patterns, but the outside edges, I think it's 3 strands to give it that depth. And there's even some sparkle here. The gold is Petite Treasure braid. And I am actually doing a conversion similar to what's called for, but I'm using, I think, Victorian Motto flosses for all the cross stitching, and then 310 for the black. So there's a good amount left, but I think it's more doable than some other ones that I had to make this a nice even 12 on my focus list. So that's really fun. And then my Friday, Saturday slot will be Whipco pieces. So I decided to have 2 boards this year. And I put those here for me to mark and cross off. So we've already had our numbers called 9 and 22. And this year I decided to randomize my numbers and randomize my projects. So everything's not standard. I think in the past when I've done Whipco, I did the standard, 1 through 5 and just goes, I kept 13 in the middle because when she calls 13, 13 is going to be a free space and she'll call 3 that month. So I made sure to keep that 13, but everything else I randomized. So as you'll see, the spots where 9 and 22 are different. One board is full coverage. I'm going to cover my face and put a picture in. I printed them out, but my ink wasn't fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a picture in of what my full coverage board looks like. I have more projects available for these Whipco boards than there are spots. But I went ahead and picked my top 24 favorites out of all that was left that's not a focus piece and not a family piece and not a seasonal piece, which I forgot to bring those, but oops. Yeah, so I have a variety of full coverage and full coverage no background on this board, and I'm really excited. Most of them are newer because those are the ones I'm excited about. They have pretty colors. This will help me touch more projects than these Whipco pieces will only get 2 days a year, and some of my projects won't get any. But I feel like focusing on family pieces and getting things chipped away in that focus category is just as important as trying to touch everything. So I will touch many of my remaining projects using these Whipco boards. So I'm going to switch now to my non-full coverage Whipco board. I will, this one will be populated with fancy ladies, samplers, anything of that nature that looks fun. And I'm excited about this one too. So these are all whips that are already started, and I'm excited to get more progress on them. Again, they'll only get 2 days, but it's more than nothing. And hopefully as I kind of give these a little bump in progress, I'll be able to narrow down another set of focus pieces for next year. So some of these might be, once they've gotten 2 days, might be like, hey, that's a reasonable amount left. I could finish that, put that on my focus list for next year. So that's kind of my thinking with this board, especially to be able to discern if any of these maybe could be focus pieces next year in 2025. So those are fun. And I forgot to bring my seasonal pieces up, but I don't want to leave. I'm gonna go find them. So you know what they look like. What I'm planning to do is give 2 months of seasonal Sundays to each montage piece I have. And I'll show you the cover pages at least. I have Autumn Montage. These are by Janet Stever. Pain Free Crafts did the charting. See, Autumn, Spring and Summer. Here's spring. Here's summer. And winter. So they will each get 2 months a year for all the Sundays. So in January, I'm planning to work on winter montage 4 days. And then hopefully it'll get another 4 days in February. Then I will also work on my Celtic Ladies sampler, which I forgot to bring up, but I will put a picture here of my mock-up that has the 4 seasonal Celtic Ladies, and I will give that 1 month every season. So it'll be March, I guess. Well, maybe December will be the winter one, and March will start with spring. So yeah, so that's my plan for seasonal Sundays. I'll work on those pieces for seasonal Sunday. And then throughout the month, throughout the year, I have a lot of starts because I kept gathering starts that I wanted to do with friends, and some things may or may not get done. But when I was looking at them all, I was realizing there's actually a decent, like, it's possible, like it looks really nice to have 1 per month. Because I have more than this that I could start, but these are some of the ones that are kind of high on my list right now. So I'm going to go ahead and at this point they are slotted in 1 per month. And so most months with the rotation that I have, like this, I have 28 days accounted for. So there are usually 2 or 3 days left in the month that are not accounted for. So I could, I'm going to put 2 days on each of these new starts. On the days with 31 days, I can diamond paint with my last day. I can focus more on a focus piece or a family piece or what have you on that last day. In February, I'll probably knock off 1 day of my focus rotation so my new start can still get 2 days. This year is a leap year. So there's 29 days, which is actually helpful because I only have to knock off 1 day of my rotation instead of 2. So the new start for January will be Tulip House. And this is by Cross Stitch Patterns on Etsy. And I wrote this wrong when I wrote it down. There's only 1 T in patterns. She has this one, there's a castle one, there's a lot of other cute stuff in there. And I'm gonna do this on Ice Blue Lugana 32 count. And I'm really excited to get that started. This is on my Bringo board twice in the month of January. So hopefully that'll get a nice start. I don't know when I'll start it specifically in January because I want to follow the Bringo board prompts whenever it's called. And I think I mentioned WhipGo, I forgot to say, is Jessie Marie does stuff here on Flosstube. She is the one that organizes WhipGo, which is the one where she calls 2 numbers every month. So that my WhipGo boards that I showed, I just assume everybody knows what this is, but some of you might not. These boards, she called 2 numbers for the month of January. So each board had 2 numbers. So every month I will be doing 4 WhipGo draws because I have 2 boards. But that was my new start for January. New start for February will be Sampler à Fleurs, which is by Jardin Privé. And I am doing the regular flowery, colorful version. I think there's a monochromatic version, there's a version with cats, but I liked this one the best. And I decided to hit it up with more of that 40 count Morganite that I'm doing my Shine Bright sampler on with MPI silks. I think these are MPI. What are these? No, these are Soie d'Alger silks that are very close to what's called for DMCs, because I wanted a little bit better coverage than DMC, and I heard that silk provides that. So I'll do 1/2 for that. And I'm excited about that one. That one will be fun. And March will be Floral Alphabet by JBW Designs. I'm going to do this on Demoiselle Lugana. This is going to be on Demoiselle Lugana 28 count, 1/1, full cross with these pretty Silks for You silks. And this is only charted to be one color, but I'm going to do the letters in blue. Anything that's greenery will be green, and then any flowers will be pink. So, yay, that'll be so pretty. In April, I'm going to try my hand at this azure ornament. I found this on Etsy. I can't remember the name of the shop now. I'll try to, if you let me know and I can give you a link, but this is a lot of Jessica stitches that are like large. It looks like a spiral graph design to me. I don't want to do it on black with these colors. So I've picked out some 24 count Congress cloth in pale blue, and I'm going to do it probably 2/2. I mean, it's not really over 2, but 2-stranded with these Silks for You silks. And I'm excited about that. That's gonna be so pretty. So it'll be a different look, but I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun. And I chose the Congress cloth because it's a canvas. So it's very stiff, and it will be nice to be able to do these long stitches without needing a frame or hoop or something. So I'll report back and see how I get on with that, because my typical way of stitching is in hand. In May, the plan at this point is to start the Rainbow Princess by Stitch Witch Cat on Etsy. And this is so pretty. I don't have fabric earmarked for this one yet, but likely it will be 40 count. I have some linens I could choose, or maybe the Verdal, I'm not sure. There's a lot of light colors in the background, so I don't know. I might go with something with some color in it, but I'll have to wait and see. Probably 40 count, but 1/1 half cross. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Then I have Peony Garden, which I'm going to start with Meg, the one who gave me that Verdal. This is Fabric Flare fabric, smoky blue, 32 count. So it's a little tealier, a little greener than it's looking in the picture, but I felt like it went really well with the greens in this design, and I thought it would complement that very well. So I'm going to start that hopefully in June. July, because it's kind of Christmassy looking, I decided this would be a good month for Stained Glass Birds 1 by Tilton Crafts. And I think, who was this? The person that told me about this. I want to start it in July. And I'm thinking I might do a, like, what do you call it? Extreme cross country with all the black, and then fill it in, like, section by section. Because that would be really fun to see it come together like a stained glass window. So we'll see. That might be fun. Again, probably 40 count, half stitches. Because why not? Then I have August, Meadow by Carolyn Manning. And a lot of people are doing the more geometric Carolyn Manning designs, which don't necessarily appeal to me, but I saw this one and I thought it was really pretty. It does have white space. It's not full coverage. It is slightly different. It's not, the center I think is a mirror image of itself all the way around, but the corners are different. And I have earmarked for this some 25 count moss green Lugana. I'll do that 1/1 with the called for DMCs. So that'll be fun. Then in September is my birthday month. So I was going to start Bees on a Flower by Ina Badenko. I think I got this on mybobbin.com, or maybe it was a gift from Laura, the I Stitch Birds on Instagram or Etsy. No, YouTube. That's the one, YouTube. I think she's Laura Stitcher on Etsy. This is super pretty, and I have this piece of Fabric Flare, like beehive honeycomb fabric. It's you can kind of see it there. It's very pale. It's, I believe, a 32 count. So I'll do that 2/2 on that honeycomb fabric, and it'll just be a hint of bee theme in the fabric in the background. And then I have for October, Let's Get Spooky by Imaginating. Ursula Michael, who's Imaginating. I kitted this up at Stitchinanigans at Stitcher's Paradise in Las Vegas because I saw somebody who had finished it and it was so cute. And I found some fabric there by Live and Die LA, who is selling there at the retreat, so I got to pick it out in person. This is Sleigh Bells, 32 count Lugana. So pretty. So I was gonna do that, 2/2 on that one. And then, oh, and then Her Journey for November, another full coverage that probably another 40 count by Megan Walsh, charted by Blushing Pink Stitches. And super fun. Love those colors. And then December, this is a recent acquisition that I haven't showed in my channel yet. Twisted Christmas Sampler by Northern Expressions Needleworks. She just released this. The second I saw it on Instagram, I hopped over to Etsy and purchased it immediately. I was like, oh, I need that. So pretty. So this is just a mock-up because it's brand new pattern. There's some candles down here. I think at some point she showed a mock-up of it on a tan fabric because these candles and other white things wouldn't show up. So I have kitted it up with raw silver Belfast sparkly stuff, which will be so much fun, but there's already cryneck and beads in here as well, so it'll be very sparkly. But I figured this could be my reward for finishing Heirloom Nativity Sampler. So I still have a Christmas sampler on the go. So this, hopefully, assuming I finish Heirloom Nativity Sampler in 24, I will start this in December. So I think that'd be really fun. It calls for DMC. So at some point throughout the year, I'll try to pick up the Delica beads and some Petite Treasure braid to like make sure I have all the goodies. So I can do that as I complete it all the way as I go down. So I am very excited about that. Oh yeah, I was going to show you at the end. I think that's all my main plans for the year. I was going to share my Bringo board just a little bit with you. So they have this planning worksheet on the Facebook group Magazine Monthly Challenge. And so I filled in my pieces. Here at the bottom, I kind of I wrote in all of the pieces that I wanted to work on in January and how many days I wanted to work on them. And so then I ticked them off with tally marks whenever I filled them in. And these are the extra days at the end of the month when the Bringo board is over, that I'll give them some extra time. And then one cross stitch fun will come out, which is on my Whipgo board, not called for January, but there was one prompt in here that is for something that's monochromatic, and that's like literally my only monochromatic piece. So I'm like, well, I like that piece, so I'm gonna pull it out. And I had one extra day to play with, so that's what I'm doing with that day, is I'm gonna work on cross stitch fun. So I think that'll be fun. I will hopefully come back for an update video early next week. I can't guarantee it, but hopefully I can do that and show you what I've been working on the last 2 weeks and what's been called so far with Bringo, because I know what I'm going to work on in January. I just don't know when. So that'll be fun to see. It's always kind of a fun, I am excited to get to my actual rotation, which will start in February. But it is fun twice a year, January and September, to do their little bingo boards, because then it just kind of spices things up a little bit to have the randomness of when you're going to work on something. So I like that. So overall, not a lot of outside things that I'm participating in. I am doing Whipgo, I'm doing Bringo and AB Singo, and that's it. Everything else is self-imposed. And I think that's good. I think that's fine. I hope you have fun planning if you like to plan. And if you don't like to plan, don't worry about it. And have fun. Have fun with your stitching, however you do it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of 2023 and a wonderful start of 2024. Happy stitching. Bye.